I'm Sonya, a personal brand and style coach. My journey began in the corporate world and through lived experiences has led me where I am today. I've walked in those uncomfortable shoes, faced the same challenges and questioned my path to professional success while simultaneously navigating my personal style journey and the challenges that each decade brings. I wholeheartedly believe in the fusion of personal brand and style strategy. My mission here is to provide you with practical, actionable strategies and lived experiences to help you unlock your next level of success through the power of personal brand and style. Let's get started. Welcome to another episode of the Style and Strategy podcast. Today, I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about setting up your goals for the year ahead, but specifically really thinking about your personal brand and your style goals. We're going to really center in on the style goals because, we get to that time of year and we sort of look forward. We spend a lot of time working out what are our objectives or our vision boards for a whole lot of things out there. It might be, personal development, leadership, money, finance, that type of thing. But sometimes what we find is actually we don't sit and spend the time that's actually needed in order to set some goals around our personal brand and style, especially if we've been maybe in a bit of a style rut or a personal brand rut. You're feeling like something's holding you back. I thought we could spend a bit of time and give you my top tips around setting those style goals for the year ahead. I want you to really start to encourage you to think about your style journey the previous year. What was that like? Because actually, a lot of the time we just don't think about it. When were the times that you felt absolutely amazing in what you were wearing? And how did that impact you? And perhaps what was the impact of your confidence and maybe, self-perception around that? There might be 2, 3, maybe many more times where you've actually felt fantastic. But there could also be the flip side. When were those times that maybe there was an outfit that you wore that you just kept pulling on? It was maybe a major presentation that you had to do or something that actually you remember how you felt walking out of that meeting room, that presentation, and you know what? You didn't feel your best. So what was it about that time and potentially that outfit that you were wearing that either was fantastic or at the same time was maybe really not that great? And maybe jot those down. I know for me personally, one of the challenges that I've had is where I'm wearing an outfit that is completely uncomfortable. So it might look really great put together. And the last time I remember wearing it, it felt good, but something's changed, whether it's my body shape, maybe it's shrunk or anything like that. And I'll never forget sitting in a meeting or getting up from that. And all I kept doing was pulling at that outfit. And so if I reflect now, that piece is probably still sitting in my wardrobe, which actually then brings me to number 2. So really sitting down and starting to identify what are your style aspirations for the year? And do you actually have any style aspirations? So if you haven't thought about it, maybe now is actually an opportunity to start thinking about that. Is there something that you are aspiring to with your style? Do you want it more simplified? Perhaps you want more diversity in your style. Maybe you want it to actually more represent the evolution of where you are personally as well. So it's really important to be able to sit down and think about those aspirations, because then it gives you a really clear goal as to what is it that you're looking to achieve over the year or so. And so you start to become more targeted in your outfit selections and your choices. Number 3 on my list here is a wardrobe refresh. This is the perfect time of year to do a little bit of that clear out of the wardrobe. Usually we have a little bit more time on our hands before heading back to work. And there's a lot of potentially decluttering happening. And if anyone's popped into Kmart of late, you would see that you've got baskets galore, and actually a lot of it is sold out, but there's a lot of sales on where you can pick up some amazing things to really help you declutter as well as get things organized. When you are doing a bit of a refresh, I want you to think about assessing and curating as being two key things you're doing as you go through that wardrobe refresh. And so that is, it's time to actually take the opportunity to remove some key pieces in your wardrobe that don't work for you anymore, that perhaps no longer fit that style aspiration that you've been looking for, or they're just taking up space. Maybe you've got 5 of that same t-shirt sitting in there. Do you really need 5? And maybe you do, but let's make it a considered decision rather than something that's taking up space in your wardrobe. So going through and actually starting to think about, each sort of section, what's in there, does it still fit? Doesn't it fit? Is it time to move on, and does it align with those style aspirations of the future? Number 4 is actually considering how do we embrace trends versus timeless style? And a lot of clients that I work with, really want to make sure that they have that timeless style, but they don't want to feel like they're dressed in yesterday's clothes. They still want to feel like there's a slight freshness to what they have. It's about incorporating key elements of what potentially is on trend at the moment, but in a more pared down version to give it a bit of timelessness into your wardrobe. You've really got to try to work through maintaining your truth all the way through when you're trying to assess, do I want to inject a little bit of that trend into your wardrobe? And to stay true to that really means, have a look, see what's out there in store at the moment. What are you seeing bits and pieces of that actually resonates to the style that you have and you aspire to? And take baby steps, perhaps. Maybe that's an introduction of a key color that's coming through. Maybe it's a particular style that you have seen and would like to start to incorporate that, just to give that little bit of a refresh. And number 5 is actually setting actionable style resolutions. So think about, if you're wanting to make some change in your style over the next, 6 to 12 months or so, what are some actionable steps that you can start to take in order to get you there? So first one being, being really clear about what is that aspiration going to be. 2 might be maybe not trying to purchase something similar to what you already have and only replacing those pieces as and when you need to. Or 3 could be thinking about, how do you inject certain consistent color within your wardrobe to get a really good stable foundation as well. When you start to build out some of the style goals for the upcoming year, what's really important as part of this is thinking about your brand. And that, I talk about this a lot, but we sometimes leave it to the wayside. We think about brand in terms of our reputation and how to network and, creating strong relationships and maybe the way in which we execute. But we're not necessarily thinking about, how does our style then intertwine with our brand, and how can we actually leverage our style to further accelerate our brand as well. And as you're starting to write these goals out, I want you to keep in mind where you're really clear around your brand and what you stand for, then how does this then play into your style? Those style aspirations, how are they going to be accelerated? How are you going to be known? How do you make yourself more unique in terms of some of your style choices, so that way you can bring your brand and style closer together in alignment? Thank you so much for being part of this inspiring episode. If you found value in today's discussion, please don't keep it a secret. Share it with a friend on social media, tag me at Your Style Collective, and leave a review. Your support means the world. Join me again next week for another empowering episode of Style and Strategy, the Leadership Series. Thanks so much for tuning in. And remember, you're already taking that first step towards your transformation journey. See you next time.